2009, Time magazine published a list of the 10 most popular conspiracy theories in America. This list includes some that you might be familiar with, such as the theory that we never actually landed on the moon, or that there really are aliens in Area 51. This list also includes some that you might not be familiar with, such as the suspected second shooter in the JFK assassination, or the theory that Paul McCartney actually died in 1966 and was replaced by a lookalike. Personally, I am fascinated by conspiracy theories. I love reading about them, I love watching documentaries about them, I love listening to podcasts about them. In graduate school, I even wrote my master's thesis about them. What fascinates me the most, though, is that conspiracy theories still exist, even when we have access to so much information. Today, we are going to take a look into 2 reasons why conspiracy theories continue to be so pervasive. But before we really dive in, let's define what a conspiracy theory actually is. Psychologist van der Linden defined a conspiracy theory as an attempt to explain the ultimate cause of an important societal event as part of some sinister plot conjured up by a secret alliance of powerful individuals and organizations. So, NASA never really went to the moon, the US government orchestrated 9/11, and the Beatles covered up Paul's death, right? So now we're on the same page. Let's jump into our first reason why conspiracy theories are still so pervasive. The first reason is pretty simple, and it comes down to the internet. Over the past 30 years, the amount of information we have access to has exploded. The floodgates have opened, and we are drowning in information. So we have to pick and choose what information we see and what information we process. We tend to put blind trust in sources that might not be credible just because we saw them online. Conspiracy theories are built on information that might not be credible, but is packaged to look trustworthy. Take fake news, for example. Fake news is misinformation that spreads like wildfire on social media, which is a perfect platform because it's easily accessible, but almost impossible to effectively regulate. For example, if I were to tweet, say, "Breaking, Buckingham Palace confirms Queen of England is a direct descendant of Dracula," and format it like a CNN tweet, it'll probably get some traction online, and I might even start my own conspiracy theory. So it's no wonder why conspiracy theories are able to spread so quickly online and are able to find their target audience. Believe it or not, there's a lot of research out there on what makes someone more likely to believe in a conspiracy theory. Research tells us that conspiracy believers have a high need for uniqueness, which just means that they like to be different and cool. They like the ability to claim membership to a small and exclusive community. Research also tells us that conspiracy believers tend to feel unrepresented in traditional forms of authority. It's a lot easier to believe that the government is lying about the existence of aliens when you already don't believe anything that the government says. So with the internet being our first reason, what about the second? Second reason why conspiracy theories are still so powerful is because they are based on narratives. Let me explain. Narrative theory centers on the idea that people are drawn to storytelling. Stories are fun. We love learning about them. We love sharing them. We love learning from them. Every culture is based in stories. For my personal research on conspiracy theories, I focused on analyzing the language that is used when they are discussed and shared online. In the name of research, I have joined several conspiracy organizations. I get regular updates on flat Earth research and a monthly newsletter about UFO sightings across the country. And in looking at all of this communication, I noticed a lot of similarities between the organizations. The language that they use seems to take the reader on a journey, one that seemed very familiar to me. How many of you have heard of the hero's journey? These lights are very bright, so I'm assuming that not everyone has their hands raised. So for those of you who are not familiar, the hero's journey was created by Joseph Campbell in 1949, and it is a collection of archetypes that appear in stories throughout human history. Campbell identified 17 steps and several basic archetypes that create a basic storytelling structure where the hero receives a call to adventure, they leave what is known and comfortable, receive guidance from a mentor, face challenges and temptations, find whatever they are looking for, and are transformed as a result. Sound familiar? Without even thinking too hard, I can give you thousands of examples. Harry Potter, Star Wars, The Odyssey, Men in Black. Every superhero origin story ever follows this format. And it's so persuasive because it's so unconsciously familiar to us. And in looking at the language of these conspiracy organizations, 3 of Campbell's archetypes really stood out to me: the hero, the mentor, and the shadow. When you come into contact with a new conspiracy theory, you have to make the decision whether you would like to learn more about it or not. Many conspiracy organizations and theorists use language that position you, the reader, as the hero. For example, the Flat Earth Society, which has over 5,000 registered members, myself being one of them, has an official website that states that the reader should expect to find the skepticism and understanding needed to break free from the dogmatic thinking and brave the pioneering waters of true science and learning. Very narrative language, right? The Mutual UFO Network, which has over 4,000 registered members, says that one of their organization's goals is to educate the public on alien encounters and UFO sightings, but it is for you to decide if you believe. Theorists and organizations can give you information, but you are the one with the decision-making power. You are the hero in their narrative. Conspiracy theorists and organizations take on the role of the mentor. You know the mentor as Dumbledore, Morpheus, Obi-Wan. They have the knowledge and the experience needed to guide you, the hero, on your personal journey. For example, 911truth.org, which is a website dedicated to exposing the U.S. government's involvement in 9/11, describes themselves as a small group of committed truth advocates who have worked tirelessly over the years to compile an accurate historical record. They have information no one else does, and they're offering it to you for use in your own journey so you can overcome challenges and temptations. And challenges and temptations take form in the role of the shadow. You know the shadow as Voldemort, Maleficent, Thanos. In the conspiracy narrative, the shadow is traditional belief in authority organizations. I mean, think about it. To believe that the earth is flat, you have to ignore everything that NASA stands for. To believe that the Holocaust never happened, you have to discredit historical canon. Conspiracy theorists and organizations present these beliefs as the shadow, so it's something you have to overcome in order to find the real truth. I've compiled these 3 archetypes together to create what I call the quest for truth. You, the reader, are called to question your beliefs. You receive guidance from a mentor who gives you information to help you overcome the shadow, traditional belief in authority organizations. After that, you're able to find real truth, and you are transformed as a result. You return back to your comfortable space, a changed person who regularly attends flat earth meetings. So, why are conspiracy theories still so persuasive? 1, we haven't gotten good yet at separating real news from fake news. And 2, conspiracy theorists are really good at telling stories. It's important to know why these theories are still so persuasive so that next time you are confronted with one, you're able to better defend against misinformation and misleading storytelling. It is just as important to know when to answer the call to adventure as it is to know when you should just hang up. Thank you.